DJM TV.
Can be addressed. As for what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed does with his money, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as to what he does with his money, once anybody's money is not missing, and it's not as if there is anything unwholesome about it, he can donate his money to whoever he likes. Yeah, like whether there is politics behind it or not, that should not be my business. I don't want to have a headache over another man's how another man spends his money.
No, absolutely not. But can you, as a Yoruba man in today's Nigeria, if you want to be president, can you be successful without going to Kowtow up north? That's my issue.
Well, I mean, from the story that I read, he didn't go there to campaign.
I'm not talking about Tinubu.
She's just a general. Yes.
Well, the principle of it is that we all need each other when it comes to politics at the national level. Can anybody from the north become president without coming to the southwest to also mobilize for support? That's just the real politics. That's the way it is.
Rufai, your take on
and we will see more, movement across regions. You can't even be president if you don't also talk to people in the southeast.
Yeah, like when you win an election and it's a no because the powers that be don't want you to be president. Anyway, Rufai.
For me, you can't tell a man how to spend his money, but there's also something I call fairness, even in charity.
Correct.
All of a sudden, I know Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't know the political position, but all of a sudden, maybe because it's politics or something, we are seeing people going to make donations in the north as though there are no problems in their own backyard here. The first one I saw was a governor. I think a fire incident happened in Sokoto. The governor went ahead to Sokoto to make donations while people had not been paid in his states. And now we are seeing this. I don't have any problems with Bola Ahmed Tinubu giving his money to people. And I empathize with people in Katsina. But for me, I also want to ask questions that can we also, by extension, put small thing in a pot for those that are reeling from the Abule Ado fire, for those that are reeling from other gas pipeline incidents in other parts of Lagos, to create succor. I still know people that have been displaced due to the Ikeja cantonment bombing that happened many years ago on the 27th of January. Can we also put small thing in a pot for those people as we're giving to other parts? I know I can't fault a man for how he spent his money, but I'm just saying, can we spread this goodwill around?
Well, at this rate, the next time a Yoruba person goes to attend a wedding, and either in Kano or anywhere in the north, we will say he's going for that wedding for political reasons.
No, this is completely different.
Wedding is different from a large donation.
I'm just saying that people too have suffered market fires too in parts of the south here. And if you're giving to people in the north, we can also balance it to say, okay, even if it's 20 million, give to the people in the south. So it cuts across all. And secondly, you raise even a more vital issue. That how can we prevent these fires? It's the way our markets are built. Our markets are built in a very claustrophobic manner that you can hardly get away around. There are no fire blankets. There are no fire measures taken. Our markets are a disaster waiting to happen. But at the same time, when you go one step further and build a modern market, people can't move into them because of the cost. So we need to rethink our markets in this part of the world.
Another point is that no one knows truly if the national leader had donated to these fire incidents. Maybe he had made a silent donation. Nobody knows. So at this point, it's a speculation if he has or has not donated.
He might have.
He might have, and he might have been silent. The Yoruba Council of Elders on Wednesday disowned the call for secession by activist Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, who last week declared a Yoruba nation. The Secretary General of the Council, in an interview, said the activist does not represent the Yoruba people in his call for secession. He added that Yoruba people had invested so much in Nigeria's formation and unity, and so it will be unwise for them to seek secession. In the meantime, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has said that the group will support the 1 million man march proposed by Yoruba self-determination groups in the southwest. In a tweet on Wednesday, the IPOB leader wrote that the group will also stand with all oppressed ethnic groups in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the 1 million man march that was to take place across the Yoruba-speaking states has been postponed until further notice. All right, we'll have to go on a short break before we discuss this story. Stay with us. Welcome back to the morning show. Before we went on a break, we were talking about the claim by Sunday Igboho, actually even saying that monarchs were behind his succession plan. I'm glad that this group has disowned his claim for a sovereign Yoruba nation. I think it is important that they came out to say that. And it just renews the hope for Nigeria, because they also said that our diversity is what keeps us strong.
That, to me, is the best thing about Nigeria and being Nigerian, that we're just so different. It's beautiful. If harnessed correctly, if everybody feels that they're on a level playing field, if all grievances are addressed, it would never need to even resort to talk of secession. Because I don't know about anybody else, but a peaceful, blood-free secession is actually quite rare. Look at South Sudan. Yes, they've been recognized by the United Nations. It's all going very well. Until you see that they're days away from famine in 2021. Until you recall that almost 400,000 people died. Who are those that are going to die? Hopefully not anybody in any of our families. So what we're talking about when we talk about secession is a lot more involved than we might think on the surface. What Nigeria needs to do is to be a country that works for everybody, that is fair to everybody, where nobody feels that they're under the boots of some kind of overlords. That's really the issue. So that needs to be addressed. Yes, I do agree that Yoruba people have invested a lot in Nigeria, as have other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. And that's what has kept Nigeria together, and hopefully Nigeria will be great as a result.
Yes, I also read another story about the IPOB leader, the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, who says that they were going to be behind anyone, any group who's been marginalized in Nigeria. Dr. Abbati.
Anyway, the basic point is that many Nigerians are aggrieved, and they express their grievances in different ways. There are persons who insist that we need to renegotiate Nigeria. There are persons, groups that say, well, they would rather go out of Nigeria. And there are persons who say, look, let us sit down and talk and redesign Nigeria and correct what some commentators on the subject used to refer to, or still refer to, as the mistake of 1914, which is the amalgamation. Now, and there are those who do not even want any discussion at all. But in this particular context, I had made the point here before, that the general position usually taken in the Southwest has been one of self-determination, not secession. But now you have Chief Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Igboho, the other day talking about secession. The only person that I think was at that event who supported him, I guess, was Professor Banji Akintoye, former leader of the Yoruba World Congress, and also leader of Ilana Omo Yoruba. You have many of these groups. You have the self-determination groups. You have the Odua Youth Congress. You have, okay, they are aggrieved. They want Nigeria to be renegotiated. But Chief Kunle Olajide's point, and that's the Secretary General of the Yoruba Council of Elders, that's the person you were quoting. His point is that, look, if Sunday Igboho says he wants the Yoruba to secede, that's his personal desire, and that he does not represent the view of every Yoruba person or the majority of Yorubas. Right. And we've made this point before. And he also said it is not true that there has been a meeting of traditional rulers in Yoruba land saying that Yoruba people want to secede. And that if there was such a meeting, there is no way he, as head of the Yoruba Council of Elders, will not know about it. Afenifere is talking about restructuring. He's not talking about secession. So you have a multiplicity of views. What should not happen is a situation whereby one or two persons or three persons want to impose their view on a whole race. It should be possible for those who want to remain in Nigeria to remain
Correct.
in Nigeria. And I think Chief Kunle Olajide spoke for such people. Now, there is another essay that I will recommend. It's titled Oduduwa Republic Against Secession, written by Chief Duro Onobule. Chief Duro Onobule's argument is even far more robust than that of Chief Kunle Olajide. And Chief Onobule is a veteran journalist. He's a very senior citizen, so he knows what he's talking about. And he was saying in that article that most of the Yorubas that he has seen, They are saying Buhari is not running Nigeria well, and Buhari is a problem. So he raised the question. So are we going to, will Yoruba people leave Nigeria because of Buhari? By 2023, Buhari will no longer be president. Yeah. So you cannot hold one man's administration, turn it into a basis for calling for secession. But I see a dangerous trend whereby, you know, people don't want to debate, they don't want to discuss. If you say anything that they do not agree with, they will start abusing you. And that anti-intellectual approach to public debate, I think is condemnable. Professor Akintoye himself says, oh, the secession will be intellectually robust, it will be intellectually driven. Now, how do you drive whatever objective you have if people cannot even talk? And now the Kanu says you will come and join Yorubas to do a 1 million march. Well, I don't think there is a consensus yet on that 1 million march.
No, there's none.
It was supposed to take place yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's now been postponed until further notice. Everybody should just be careful. Chief Olajide says people should be patient. Do not say because you don't like the present administration, then you take a decision and you want to impose it on others. No, that's not how to do it.
Rufai, before I take your comment, we'll take our final story in the United States. An 11-year-old boy who was punished for disobeying school rules by kneeling down in the office of the headmaster has caught the attention of the media outlets in New York. The headmaster of the Catholic school, who is Caucasian, was said to have called the 11-year-old boy, who is of Haitian descent, into his office and asked him to kneel down in apology, the Nigerian way, for working on an assignment during designated reading time. The mother of the boy, Tricia Paul, after noticing her son's demeanor upon returning from school, reached out to the headmaster for clarity on the issue, demanding justice for her son, who she said had become extremely quiet after the incident, but was not successful. She then reached out to the local media outlets to report the incident. On Wednesday, the school issued a statement saying the headmaster had resigned. Rufai, your take on this story? I mean, you know, it just goes to show that there are different people with culture. You can't impose your culture on people. Definitely. I mean, it's really appalling that this head teacher actually did this to this young boy at this point.
And for the fact that we do it here doesn't make it right either.
Yeah, well,
for the fact that we humiliate children in the name of instilling discipline and culture doesn't make it right. And we do that a lot. We get away with murder here every time. All sorts of things we do to people. It just breeds that level of hatred. There are better ways to correct a child rather than say you should kneel down, or let me use the Yoruba parlance, go and stool down there. Raise up your hands and close your eyes.
Well, I give my daughter time out.
Some of them you bring out a belt and whip them like they're criminals.
That's not acceptable.
We do all sorts here that is not right. And hopefully, I'm sure teachers too in Nigeria should learn from this. Because if you are to take a toll about teachers that do this to pupils in Nigeria, goodness me, you will have many cases to take to court. That's one. Two, let me quickly talk about this secession talk.
Okay.
The truth has to be said, and I've been calling for unity all this while, because our best bet is we will still come back and sit on the table. So let's have that conversation now. It's a great point you raised, Tundu, about South Sudan. John Garang fought for South Sudan so much. He had two lieutenants, Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. Once John Garang died and they granted South Sudan independence, see the way South Sudan is. It's now a faction between Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. Everybody will always push for his own personal interest. And that's why we should be careful. And divisions will always bring more divisions. I can give you another instance. The IRA, over the 70s, after Sunday, Bloody Sunday, they fought so hard. They even went ahead to throw a bomb on 10 Downing Street. But guess what happened? After all the fight by the IRA, they still had to come to that table and discuss at the Good Friday Agreement in '98. So we need to come back and discuss and have an intellectual and robust conversation. We can't afford to throw the country away.
Right.
We want a country that is fair for all. But I keep asking, like the Yorubas will say, is the solution to a headache cutting off the head? It's never been the case, so let's talk. I know Nigeria has not been fair to everybody. And that's why I keep calling on leadership to stand tall. Let's even talk to all these agitating parts. Because we are better together. And when we keep talking about division succession, it is when you divide, you will know that Egbaz and Ijebumen can't sit on a table together. without fighting themselves. It is that
Nigerian
time you will know that there are divisions between the Igbos and the Delta Igbos.
The Nigerian Civil War was 3 years. The Yoruba Civil War lasted 91 years. So that should tell you something.
Good point. Dr. Abbati,
well, there are some Nigerians who
that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today.
Well, thank you very much, Ojuneka.
DJM TV. DJM TV.
People and people don't say no, they don't like us. Welcome to DJM TV.
DJM TV. DJM TV. DJM TV. DJM TV.
Some of the delegates and ask the question.
DJM TV. DJM TV. DJM